Hi guys, so in this video I want to talk about the kingdom of heaven which is within, and what the kingdom of heaven means, which I believe Jesus meant this when he said the kingdom of heaven is within. I think it means the kingdom of heaven is the eye in the middle of the storm, where everything's calm and joyful and everything around you is rushing around chasing physical possessions, trying to be someone, trying to be somewhere constantly. And this is a necessary process of the awakening process, because everybody has to go through this. Everybody is born in the physical to learn this, I strongly believe. And what we learn by coming to this physical reality is the fact that the more we chase, the more we want. So the kingdom of heaven is when you realize the non-duality awareness, which puts you in the center point, and you no longer need to try to achieve things or get things or chase things or try and get all these physical possessions to have that specific feeling that it gives us when we get them. Because once we get them and we have that feeling, then we want the feeling again, and we think that we have to chase them again to get that feeling again. So this is a necessary part of the evolution process. When we reach this non-duality awareness, then we can remove ourselves from the duality of what is good, what is bad, what society tells us we want, what society tells us we need, what we're taught at school. All this stuff is based on the duality awareness of the physical reality. So let's say I touch this wall here with my hand, okay? The feeling of this wall to me feels nice and cold, and it feels rough. It's part of our five senses to experience this as we're here in the physical reality. So as we go through life here in the physical reality, we get all this experience, and then eventually we've stored all these experiences within our mind, and eventually all these experiences are already in the mind, because a lot of people who believe in religion and who think that the kingdom of heaven within means something different to what it actually means. Where am I going with this? Oh, hold on a moment. Blank moment. This is the problem with ADHD. Right, okay. What was I saying? Yeah. So the kingdom of heaven within, what it actually means, guys, is the fact that the more experience we get in this physical reality, the more experience of the five senses that we've had, and the more they're stored to access those experiences anytime we want, without having to go into the external world chasing something to get it to feel that feeling. So the kingdom of heaven within means that everything is accessible all the time, anytime you choose, just based on your imagination and what you choose you want to experience. So that means that you can then come within the eye of the storm and experience whatever you want in total peace and total joy, without having to go to the external world like most people are doing, guys, to achieve it. I'll give a good example of this. So as you're coming up your awakening process, you'll start to have all these realizations, and one thing will happen, then another thing will happen. One of the main things that will happen is you'll realize you're the eye of the storm. You'll realize you're in the eye of the storm. And once you realize this, it's very, very hard to go back into the dualistic way of thinking in the physical world, where everybody's rushing around. Now, the way this happened for me was just a few days ago, actually. Well, this is one of the ways. There's many ways this comes into your awareness. But with me, a few days ago, I was like driving down the motorway, and this is 70-mile-an-hour speed limit here in England. And of course, you'll sometimes come to like lorries, caravans, whatever, who are doing about 30 in a 70, and everybody tries to take over them. So on this occasion, I came to a caravan doing 30 in the 70-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to do 30 behind this caravan, and I'm going to just enjoy the ride. Because one of the things you realize when you reach this level of awareness is that everything has a good and a bad to it. There's no good or bad. Everything's equal, and whatever you do has a good and a bad to it. So I thought, okay, if I do this, it's going to have some good points. And what I was able to do is, well, I stayed behind this caravan doing 30 miles an hour for about half an hour going down the motorway. And of course, all the cars were coming up to us behind us and trying to overtake us, trying to be somewhere that they don't necessarily need to be. Okay, they were trying to be somewhere, they were getting stressed. There was a lorry taking over us at one point, and there was a pile of cars behind us trying to get in to overtake us. And what I realized in this moment is that my consciousness during that time was very, very chilled, very happy, relaxed, just enjoying the ride. I had the radio on, listening to some music, and everyone around us was stressed, not living in the present moment, trying to be somewhere, trying to access a certain thing or a place to be that's going to bring them that joy. At least they think it's going to bring them that joy, but in reality it's not going to bring them that joy, because when you're stuck in that illusion of duality, everywhere you go, everywhere you get to, you want something else. So you're constantly trying to get something, in this cycle of stress and negativity, which is what most people are doing in the world today. So what I realized was, during this journey, I was very chilled. I was getting more miles per gallon because I was doing a slower speed. I was getting probably 80 miles to the gallon, when normally I'll get like 40 miles to the gallon, or 50 maybe. I was saving money. Not only that, I was very happy. Not only that, I was taking time within myself to just enjoy myself in the present moment. Not only that, I was safer because I was going slower. There's all these positives to what people think's negative. So these people coming behind us were thinking that, oh, it's negative, there's something going slow on the motorway, I'm going to have to take over, stressing themselves out, trying to be somewhere. So during this time I realized, yeah, this is the eye within the storm, and this state of consciousness can be achieved anywhere, wherever you are. Okay, wherever you are, you can just sit back, put yourself in the present moment, access the kingdom of heaven within, go into this joyful state. There's no time when you're in this state, because you're in the present moment. You're not trying to get somewhere, okay? Because you have to realize, guys, in this reality, time is the currency. This is very, very important in your awakening process. You realize at some point that time is the main currency, not money, it's time. It's the time that it's taken to do all these things. It's the time that it's taken to achieve these physical possessions that you think is going to make you happy, and you're using all your time to get them. But when you do get them, it doesn't make you happy, because you just want more and more and more. And this has been stuck in the dualistic way of consciousness. And when you're stuck in this, you don't know there's a way out. And this is what Jesus meant when he said the kingdom of heaven is within, because when you go within, you come to the eye of the storm, you come to the center point, you realize there's a good and a bad to everything. You can then chill and not worry about what's going on around you, okay? Because everybody's worrying about what's going on around them, and they're trying to get somewhere. And this is the state of consciousness everybody will eventually reach due to their experience. Because let's face it, guys, if you're stuck in the dualistic way of being, and you're going to constantly get stressed, you're going to constantly have good and bad things happen to you, because every good thing you try and achieve loses its momentum, and then you're not going to like the feeling after that. Whereas all there is the present moment. And this illusion that we're taught in school and by society, that we need this, we need to do that, this is good, this is bad, you realize isn't even real. Okay, it's not real, because everything's good and bad, no matter what it is. Some people will argue, like they'll say, well, what's good about like a plane coming down killing people? I've said this in previous videos, guys. But in reality, there is goods to that as well, because every time something like that happens, people appreciate their lives more. Everything brings appreciation, and everything eventually leads to love, which is the next part of this video I'm going to get to. And that is the fact that once you reach this centered awareness, because time is the main currency, you're now going to be using less time trying to achieve all these physical possessions and physical feelings based on your five senses, which you want to feel. And because you're now within the kingdom of heaven, you can then access any of these feelings anytime you want, because they're always there. They're always there within your consciousness to access, just with a thought or an imagination or anything you want. You can just access them anytime you want, so you don't need to chase the physical anymore. Because of this, you now have more time to love. You have more time to love, guys. So that's what the kingdom of heaven within means. You now have the ability to be anything you want, to feel anything you want, to have anything you want within an instant, because it's already there. Everything's already there. The physical world is just an illusion to teach us that. And that's probably why we're here on this physical reality. And if you don't learn this in this lifetime, you'll probably come back again and again until you do learn this, which is the idea of reincarnation. But I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of guessing here. But to me, this sounds realistic, because eventually the reason we're here, I believe, is to learn the kingdom of heaven is within. And once we learn that, we can then access anything we want just with a thought or an imagination. And then obviously when we leave this physical world, we incarnate into a non-physical world where we've got this knowledge, and then we can create anything we want within that non-physical world just with a thought, and it instantly happens, which a lot of people who have near-death experiences report, by the way, guys. A lot of people who have these near-death experiences say that they just have a thought and they're instantly there. If they hadn't been in the physical reality to learn that, that wouldn't be possible. So this is my take on what the kingdom of heaven within actually means, guys. And of course, religion will not tell you this. A lot of the religions out there are based on the physical world only. They haven't really incorporated this yet. If you go to church, they'll not tell you this. They'll just say God is a separate being, or Jesus is coming back, whatever. But in reality, everything Jesus taught was a metaphor for this type of thing, because we're all gods. We're all part of God. We're all part of the same consciousness. We're just different aspects of it, experiencing it from different parts. And the more you learn, the more you evolve, the more you come back to the center, which is the eye within the storm, which is all knowledge, all experience, which is already there. And we no longer need the physical world to access that. Right, guys. So I'm going to expand on the previous video I did. But in this video, I want to talk about how to access that kingdom of heaven, which is the present moment, and some of the techniques I use to access that. And I want to go into what happens when you access it and how to get used to accessing it so that it happens more and more often, because most people in this reality that we find ourselves at the moment literally don't even know what this is, never mind trying to access it or can't access it, whatever. They don't even know it exists, because they're too preoccupied with the physical matter and what they've been programmed into believing since children. So one of the main things I see when I go out is a lot of people's time, which is the main currency, remember, is taken up by these electronic devices. Now I know I sound a little bit like a hypocrite, because you're probably watching a device now to watch my videos, and they are good for some things, okay? Don't get us wrong, technology is amazing. I'm a geek at heart. I love technology, but you have to know when to put it down and when to be in the real present moment reality and when to be controlled by another reality. Because one of the main things I see when I'm out and about is people consumed, all the times consumed by the addictive nature of these devices. And these devices are designed to be addictive exactly for this, because the companies that make these devices addictive they already know that time is the only currency. See, because the more time you spend on something, the more it's worth. So one of the things I do, guys, is like I'll wake up in the morning, and what's important about waking up in the morning is the first thing you have to think of to be in the present moment is joy. You have to think of something you love straight away as soon as you can. Sometimes this is harder than other times, depending on where the moon phase is, what time of the month it is. If you're female, even males have the wrong time of the month. Sometimes these things do fluctuate up and down, moods and things like that. But it's good if you at least try to get in the present moment and find joy as soon as you wake up. Okay, so one of the things I love doing at the moment is I love gardening. I love just going out, taking the dogs for a walk, whatever. So as soon as I wake up, I'll think of that. I'll think, right, what can I do in this today that will bring the most joy? Because following your highest joy at all times is the way to find the kingdom of heaven within. Because most people are not truly following the joy, you see. They're doing what society's telling them to do. They might think to themselves that their joy is looking at TikTok for hours, but in reality it's not the true joy. They've just been conditioned to think that's their joy, so that they always have this missing piece in the consciousness where they just can't let go and fully experience reality and fully experience the joy of just being in the present moment within your own kingdom of heaven, you see. So as soon as they put TikTok down, they don't feel right, you see. And this is what I see time and time again when I'm out and around people. People are very addicted to this electronic device because they don't feel comfortable without it, which is very, very dangerous for your consciousness, and it's just going to basically delay your awakening process by years and years and years if you don't come out of this straight away. So a very important thing to do is put down your devices, okay? Unless you actually consciously allocate 20 minutes to yourself and you think to yourself, oh, I think it'll be fun to look at TikTok for 20 minutes now and just fully enjoy it. Other than that, just try not to use it as much, or try not to use Facebook as much. YouTube's okay, but I use YouTube a lot, to be honest. But I usually just watch self-help things and things that are going to help me find my true self more. Another thing I see is people are very, very, very addicted to the point where they don't like to be alone. Now, when people are out with other people and say somebody goes and gets the coffees, the other person will be sitting on the seat and they'll instantly get the phone out as soon as the other person leaves them. So the soonest most people are alone, instantly the phone's out because they don't want that feeling of being alone for some reason. But this is very dangerous as well, because if you're not comfortable being alone in just your own consciousness without a device, just looking around and enjoying the scenery and things, you've got no chance of finding the kingdom of heaven within. And I mean no chance. So you have to be fully comfortable in your own consciousness, in yourself, without any devices, just in your own thoughts, by focusing on joy. If you're not comfortable with that, I would say you need to do it, but everybody's at their own level of evolution. I'm not going to criticize people for doing this, because they will eventually realize this eventually, but some people it might take lifetime after lifetime. But with myself, I've managed to realize this within this whole lifetime that I'm in now. I've managed to realize how to just enjoy the present moment awareness without an electronic device or without a distraction, because distractions are everywhere, okay? The world is full of distractions because the world and society and the way greedy corporations are, they're always trying to get your time, because time is the main currency, but they're always trying to distract you from the present moment, because they know that if they distract you from the present moment, you're going to spend time and money into them rather than yourself. And this is the trap we find ourselves in with all these greedy corporations and all these people with an agenda, because they're scared to lose the power themselves, because they're stuck in the physical world as well, you see. So what I'll do is I'll go out, I'll get a coffee, okay? Coffee's good for this because it relaxes your mind, it brings joyful feelings, okay? It increases endorphins. Some people will say you don't need to use any stimulants or anything like that, but I personally like them. That's up to yourself. In my experience, these stimulants really help the process, okay? Without them, it would be a lot harder to do, but it is possible, okay? So I'll usually get a coffee. As soon as the caffeine starts to kick in, I can then sit back and just contemplate on the joyful things in life, things you love. I'll contemplate on that. I'll watch people, I'll put myself in the present moment. If I see two people having a conversation, I'll focus on that, I'll listen to it. I'll try and feel love in my heart for people. I just basically put myself in the present moment and try and enjoy it, okay? And this is how I find the kingdom of heaven within. Now, once you do this, okay, because of the law of attraction, which is a real thing, by the way, because energy attracts energy, the more present you become in yourself, the more nice things will come to you. So if you put yourself in a good mood by focusing on joyful things, eventually that bad mood and all that stress of the kind of left side of the brain, worrying about things in the future, etc., will start to fade down, and then the present moment joyful awareness will start to fade in, because energy flows where your attention goes. Okay, so this will start happening, and the more you do this, the more you'll get used to this, and then you'll eventually reach a point where you're in such a positive state. Everything that whole day will start become positive one after another, because the law of attraction will start changing the physical manifestation around you to match that state. Because the physical world, I didn't say this in the last video, guys, but the physical world is an illusion, okay? It's basically a projection of our consciousness, designed so that we can eventually find the kingdom of heaven within, which is realize we are God and we have control to control our own state, no matter what the physical surroundings are. So eventually the physical surroundings will start to adapt to your state of being, and the more you get used to this, the more you realize you kind of go back to that old state of being again. Now, this isn't for everybody, by the way, guys. I have to state this is not for everybody, because if everybody did this, the world simply wouldn't. Well, it would work when you go even deeper with this, because if everybody's doing what they love doing, everything will be accomplished, because every single thing in this physical world that you can do in this physical world, somebody out there will enjoy doing it. But this is going way in the future, guys. This is going way in the future. But at the present moment in time, this is just, this information I'm giving you guys about the kingdom of heaven within is only for a very select few people. This is why my videos don't get thousands and thousands of views like somebody else teaching something that's more in the societal view of things, like the new age teachings, etc. This stuff I'm teaching is more quite a bit more advanced than that, so it's got a very limited audience. But there is people on the planet who have reached these levels of awareness, and these videos are for those people like yourselves, okay? But yeah, so what I would advise is kind of practice just putting yourself in the present moment awareness, okay? Get used to that first. Use stimulants, use coffee, use whatever drugs you feel like you need to use for this, because they all help, okay? One person might not like coffee, another person might like cannabis, like whatever. But these things are here so that we can discover more of ourselves, so I don't think they're a bad thing. I wouldn't advise alcohol as such, because alcohol kind of lowers your vibrational frequency, and it kind of brings the ego out more than what, say, cannabis would. So I wouldn't personally recommend that. Me, myself, when I drink alcohol, I'm a happy drunk. Like, I feel really good, I feel a lot of love. But some people it doesn't work like that. That's all to yourself, guys, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, once you get into this level of awareness where you can just be in the present moment, you'll start getting more and more used to it. And the reason I said this doesn't work for everybody is because when you reach this stage, it'll be very hard for you to go into society and do the things society's doing. Okay, it will be very hard to just say go and do a regular job, for instance, because you'll realize that regular job is based on societal concepts that are basically nothing to do with being joyful in the present moment or being within the kingdom of heaven within, because a lot of the way society works at the moment is based on greed rather than love, and the kingdom of heaven within is all about love. But in the future, like I said, it will be possible to incorporate love in society, because everybody will be treated better, I believe, hopefully, okay? If that doesn't happen, will probably end up extinct or something like that. That's just my personal opinion. But in my eyes, the universe is more clever than that. And because we're now utilising the universe, and we actually utilising the physical matter in a way that will lead to our evolution, and we're not stuck like the dinosaurs were, then the chances are we'll not become extinct. But that's just my view, guys. So I'll be interested to hear if any of you guys out there have got a different way of putting yourself into the kingdom of heaven, into the present moment, and finding joy, because my way of doing it might differ to yours. I personally like being out and around people. I don't like staying in the house very much, but you guys might have a different method. Let us know in the comments if you do. Also, if there's anything else you want to say about this video or about this process, let us know in the comments. If any of you guys have evolved this level of awareness, which I don't know is possible yet, can you evolve Christ consciousness? Can you evolve the kingdom of heaven? What comes after that? Personally, I don't know if there's anything after that, because the physical reality we're in is quite limited to what we can experience based on the five senses and love. But if you have transcended this, I'll be interested to hear your version and what you found as well. But that's it for this video, guys. Hope you like that. I'll be back soon with another video, guys. Have a nice day. See you guys soon.